What's up, everybody? There's no everybody yet, but I am just finishing up some shipping. I had a lot of morning sales today, which was, I guess, not odd. I get morning sales, but I feel like I had a lot more today than normal. So I'm just finishing up these last couple because I need to go and get Geo after I'm done with the live, and I'm hoping that the post person, I have a woman, what do you call her? Post woman? Mail lady. I hope she doesn't come while I'm on live. So I am going to dive right in because I am one of those people that hates when they just kind of chit chat in the beginning of a live. So I'm going to dive right in with my topic today once I pull up my notes, which is biggest time sucking activities. You know, the Reseller Mom Show is all about getting more done and making more money, and I always say staying sane while raising kids and reselling online. But a big part of that is saving time. And all of the videos that I do, I feel like have some sort of either making more money or selling more or saving time or being more efficient. You know, this is what it's all about for me anyway. That's what I focus on because I always feel just completely pressed for time. So hello, everyone that's here. I do appreciate it. If you have questions, go ahead and start putting them in. I'm going to go through the topic, which is time-sucking activities. I'm just going to give a list, and then I'd love to have a conversation about it or questions about anything, any other topic. So, or just anything you want to talk about. So the first thing I put, and the reason why I'm doing this list is I wanted to get my thoughts together, and then I thought I would share it with you as a way to like catch myself. Like if you don't bring it to light, if you don't acknowledge it, it's kind of hard to do anything about it. And I feel like every once in a while I catch myself where I'm like, this is a giant waste of time. Like there's got to be a better way for me to do this one thing, or I need to stop getting sucked into wasting my time doing this because I could be doing something else. And it doesn't even mean that you're putting those wasted minutes to like productive use, because let's face it, you can't always be taking photos. You can't always be listing items. But what I could be doing is something for my house, which has been neglected. Or it could be, you know, spending time with Geo and playing more trains. Though God knows I don't need to be playing more trains. So here's my list. Okay. Number one, and they're not in any order. It's just my brain dump. So I'm saying number one, but they're not in any order. Morning. So reseller laundry. I'm really starting to think that this is a waste of time. There's two kinds of reseller laundry for me. One is items, well, I guess maybe there's three. One, items that I pick up knowing full well there's something wrong with it and I think I can fix it. Two, items that I picked up on purpose, but I didn't know something was wrong with it and now I have it, so I should try to fix it. And three, items that I get shipped to me, like when I do a liquidation auction or something, that they just kind of show up at my door and I didn't pick them, but they have something wrong with them. And so now I'm stuck with them and I got to try to fix them. And so I've really got to try to tone it down with the reseller laundry. I have an enormous pile over here of darks that I need to do. The other day I did lights, so like pinks and whatever. I had a bunch of pink stuff. And then whites. So I did 2 loads the other day and 1 load here. And it just takes so much time, and not all the items are worth it. And that's where I need to kind of start drawing the line. Maybe I'll do a separate video about it. I would love your comments or thoughts about it. Hey, about when is it worth it to do reseller laundry? I mean, I think it's going to be different for different people, but like for me, if I could get $30 and I can just throw it in the wash, that's worth it. But if I'm going to get $15 for it and I have to like stain treat it, let it sit, throw it in the wash, hang it up, make sure it's not wrinkled, then steam it, like that is not worth it. So this is something that I'm going to be zeroing in on and working on, is reseller laundry not being a major time suck. The next thing is not necessarily reseller related, but it's nonsense emails. I need to set up more filters and folders because I get a lot of emails. I'm sure you do too. You sign up for things, you have notifications coming in, all sorts of stuff, and you never know what's important. It takes time to sift through it. I had signed up for unsubscribe or unsubscribe me or roll me up or whatever. I forget what it's called. And that helps, I think, for some things, but then you have to kind of maintain it by telling it what is junk mail that you don't want to see. And I just haven't done that. So if you'd like to know, my email little thing right down here, it says 74,842. This number gives my husband the biggest agita, like canaries, because he has a canary when he sees it, because he keeps his to 0. He handles every notification, every red bubble that he gets on his little iPhone, he handles immediately. For me, I just can't. I don't have time. So 74,000 emails. I don't even know what it is. So nonsense emails, I need to set up folders and filters, take the time on the front end, send them somewhere, and maybe that will help. Time-sucking activities. Okay, next one is carrying things in and out of the house for reseller stuff. You go thrifting, you bring it home, it's coming in. Then you need to go through it. Maybe you go through it in one room, but you're going to list it in another room. Maybe you have to do something else with it, so it's over here. And for me, I carry it back out when I bring it to the storage unit for things that I'm going to give to my photographer to list. So that's going out. I feel like I'm always lugging around stuff, clothes, coming in, coming out. I need to try to figure out how to cut down on this. If anyone's ever tried, let me know. I used to have a system where I would leave enough time in my sourcing before I had to go pick up Gio from his school to go to the bins, then go straight to the storage unit, bring everything into the storage unit, and then leave it there to sort, and only bring home what I needed. And I think I need to get back to doing that, and that will eliminate some in and out of the house. I don't know. But if this is an issue for you, if it's something you thought of, just carrying stuff in and out of the house wastes 5-10 minutes here and there, and that's time that is just a waste. So next thing, moving things from room to room. I have a reselling room. I'm super lucky and super grateful that I've co-opted our office into a reselling room. If you don't have that, I totally understand. Maybe you have a basement, maybe you have an extra guest room upstairs, or however you work it. But if you can have a dedicated area or a dedicated space, even if it's not a room, to where you don't have to set up your lights every time you take photos. You don't have to take out your measuring tape and your scissors and all this stuff and lay it out every time. You don't have to, deal with whatever's going on with your hook, whatever setup you have. If you can keep it to as minimal setup as possible, because I used to do it. I used to set up my lights. I had a hook by my front door, and every day I would take the lights out, take my photos, put it away. Take it out, take my photos, put it away. And it was like 10 minutes every time. And I told my husband, this is ridiculous. So then that's how I co-opted the office to be a reselling room. So if you could save time by eliminating some of your setup, I think that would be great. And for me, I don't really have to do that anymore, but I put that on there for other people. One of my highest viewed videos is my reselling room tour, which I think is so funny. Because I think until I had one, I was like, when people I used to love watching it. I think we all just fantasize about a reselling room. Okay, what's next? Setting up and breaking down. Okay, changing inventory systems. I've wasted so much time making changes to my inventory systems, and I have a video. I haven't recorded it yet because it's a multiple location video, because some of it takes place here and some of it takes place at the storage unit. And so it's a little more involved and I need to find some time to do it. But I do want to do a video on the ultimate inventory system that I have come up with. And it's not I've come up with it, but that I've gotten to, that I'm now executing on or whatever. Ooh, somebody accepted my offer. That now that I'm in this inventory system, I feel like I can go with this for quite some time. But before that, I went from, let's do it this way. And then I outgrew that. And then I did it this way. And then I outgrew that. And then I did it this way. And I just kept changing it, finding ways to save time, finding ways to be more efficient, finding ways to save money. And every time I switched, that took time and effort, which therefore costs money. So I would just say, if you can, and you don't have to do my system, whatever system you're hoping for in the future, do it now. That way you're not wasting time moving from system to system. And I've said this before on my Instagram, plan to be bigger than you are now if you have aspirations to be bigger. Like set up your business as if you were bigger, meaning your inventory system. Like when you have 100 items, you could keep them in a couple of bins. They don't have to be prepackaged. They could be sorted by tops, pants, and jeans, which is how I used to have it. And then it ended up being 2 bins of pants. And then I sorted it by color. And then I sorted it by size. And then I started prepackaging, but I would write on it what it was. I mean, there were so many stupid things I did that cost me time. So I would highly recommend stop changing inventory systems, pick one that you can grow into and stick with that. Next is thinking about your reselling business. I'm so guilty of this. Thinking about your reselling business with like no particular goal in mind or no problem to solve. So sometimes if I find myself alone, which isn't very often, like I just default into thinking about my reselling business, all different aspects of it, but I have no problem that I'm trying to figure out or solve. I have no particular thing that I'm pondering. I'm just like thinking about all different aspects of it. And that wastes a lot of time and it wastes a lot of mental energy and it gets nowhere. It's like worrying about something. I'm just pondering my business, thinking about different things I might want to do. And sometimes that's helpful if you're daydreaming about it and setting goals or whatever. But if you have no literal point to your mind wander, and maybe no one else does this, maybe it's just my lunatic butt, but if you ponder these kinds of things with no goal in mind, you're wasting your mental energy that you could be putting to use for something else. I think what I want to make is a to think about list on my phone. Is that crazy? Where if I want to think about something, because I always complain that like I'm always executing, but I don't always have time to reflect and think. And sometimes I feel like that leads me into making poor decisions when it comes to business. So if I made myself like a to think about list, then when I had some time to think, I could go to my to think about list and say, oh yeah, I wanted to think about maybe changing bags. And so I could think about the pros and cons of the bags and research different costs, or, it could be a more productive pondering session. Leave me some comments. Is this ridiculous? There's 7 people in here. Tell me if I'm a crazy person. Also put your questions if you have any. Or are you doing any of these things? Tell me. Let's see what's next. Unorganized inventory. So this could mean so many things. I'm drowning in stuff in this room, but I will say it's all organized. Everything has been sorted. There's a purpose to every pile. I know exactly what's going on with every piece of it. Bye. Maybe this is not a good topic. I don't know. But this is the laundry pile. To the side of the laundry pile is to the 2 sweater shave pile. This is stuff that's already done and packaged that needs to go to the storage unit. These are the things I have to pack up today. Those are things that are going to go on my dollar sale that I have coming. Like that's steamed. This is to list, or take photos of, I guess I should say. So everything has a purpose, is sorted, is organized. Anything that I have unlisted at the storage unit is organized into bins and counted and ready for the photographer. I don't have just random dump piles, but I could imagine that there are people that have that. And that costs you time and money and mental energy because you don't know what's in there. You have no priorities for it. It's just your death pile or whatever. And for me, like I've always said, I'm not opposed to death piles, but I don't really believe in death piles because I like to have a backlog of unlisted inventory for me or for my photographer to always have something to list. So I'm fine with having unlisted inventory, but it should be sorted and purposed so that you have it in a meaningful way and can act on it as soon as you're able. So just having a random unsorted death pile, but having a purposeful unlisted pile where you know that it's going to go to your photographer, you know that you're going to list it next, it's prioritized in some way or what have you, at least you can act on that when you're ready. So I think unorganized inventory is a time suck. Buying things, let's see what I wrote here. I did this a couple days ago. Buying things that you shouldn't be buying. Okay. So a while ago, I did a big clearance where I clearanced out like 500 items from my store. And some of them were just things that didn't sell, but I thought at the time they were fine to buy. And then a lot of them were just bad buys that I should have never bought. And they had been sitting in my inventory for well over a year. And they just were taking up space. They were costing me money. Luckily at the storage unit, I'm not at capacity. So it's not technically costing me the place of another item. But if I was at capacity, it would be costing me the place of another item. And if you're someone that doesn't have a storage unit and you keep your inventory at home, you having bad buys and things you shouldn't have bought to begin with is costing you because you don't have unlimited space or your capacity isn't as large perhaps as, in my storage unit, I could probably go mid 2,000 items, maybe even close to 3,000 items. I forget. I did the math at some point, but I forgot what it was. So if you just have like 2 shelving units, having items that you shouldn't have bought in the first place is costing you money and is wasting time because eventually you're going to go through them. You're going to have to pull out. You're going to have to unlist it. It takes time to take an item out of inventory once it's been listed. And if you're a multiple platform seller, you have 3 places to take it out of. If you have an inventory spreadsheet, you have to take it out of there. So it all costs time. And then you have to decide what to do with it. Are you going to clearance it out in some way and still try to sell it, even though it's not online? Or are you going to donate it? Or what are you going to do with it? That all takes time. So having items that you should never buy in your inventory at one way or the other will cost you time over time. So be smart about your sourcing. This is like a never-ending battle for me. I say it so easily, but it's so hard for me to stick to. I buy stupid stuff all the time. And it goes back to the reseller laundry or what, especially because it's at the bins and sometimes you just don't see snags or stains or whatever, but some things are honest mistakes. It happens to the best of us. But if you can be more ruthless in your sourcing and only put in good things, it will save you time over time because I've seen what it is when you don't do that and how much time it cost me in taking things out of inventory. It was okay. Taking your items to the post office. I think this is a huge time suck. Now, you may not have a choice. So everybody's situation and location and whatever is different. For me, they pick it up at the house. My neck is almost up. They pick it up at the house. So I have a great post lady, post woman on her off day. I have the postman. I call him, is it mailman? Postman? I don't know. Geo, by the way, loves her. Her name is Heather, and she's blonde, and Geo is partial to blondes. And like he tells her he loves her. He goes up to her and gives her a hug. Like we bought her a souvenir on our vacation. Like he's obsessed with our mail lady, which is so cute and so fun. But I have a bin outside. I have an Amazon link to it in my Amazon store if you want to give it a try. I have a bin that you can put the packages in. It's like a storage bench. And I set up my package pickup request for like 6 months in advance. So I don't have to do it all the time. It's already done. And they come and pick up the packages at the house. I can usually fit 2 of these in there. She leaves me bins. I have a stack of bins outside my house. So I don't go to the post office. I also don't have a post office near me. I have a UPS store and I could take them there, but their pickup is at 10, which is before my house pickup. So I can get more orders in if I have it picked up at the house. And then I'd have to go to the UPS store. And when I have Geo with me, I have to take him out. I have to carry the bins. It's a whole thing. If I was going to a post office, let's say a post office wasn't 30 minutes away from here, I would do that. So if you could not take your stuff to the post office, I think that would be great. I think some of us do it because they can, and that's fine. If they have one across the street, why not do it? But you feel like you have to make sure that everything's okay with your packages. And if you have a reason to think that your packages won't be okay outside of your house for pickup, then I understand that. But if you're just doing it because you're like a control freak, give it a try and see what happens. Like I've had one horror story where like 20 packages on eBay showed up late. And I just dealt with it. I lost my top rated for like a month or whatever it was. The next month they came back, or whatever the evaluation was, 3 months, I don't remember. But, and that was a bummer. But like, it happens. But the time I saved by not having to go to the post office was enormous. So that was a suck it up, soldier, and just deal with it. So I think a time suck is taking your packages to the post office. Again, if you do that and you have real reasons, that's fine. But if you're just doing it to be a control freak, try a package pickup at home and see if it saves you time and effort and energy. I think it will. Yes. Organizing your closet listings in an order. Do you do this? I did this in the very beginning on Poshmark. I do not do this anymore. The only thing that I do, why am I so like cracky? I have women, I have men, I have kids. That's the order. And I don't share my closet anyway. My virtual assistant does. But if I shared the whole thing, I'd share from the bottom to the top, and I would kids first, then the men's, then the women's. But if it got out of whack, I don't care that much. On my 2:00 share, 2:00 in the afternoon, I just have women's. So that good morning, that goes up at the top. So, you know, if you have a Poshmark order that you are obsessing about for your closet, and like you have to have tops, and then it have to be shoes, and then it has to be this, and then it has to be that, and then pink on the top or whatever. Like, I think that's a waste of time. I mean, again, that's just me. Maybe not for you. I don't know how much that helps. I don't know what business reason there is for it. I don't think the buyers care that much, and I don't know that they scroll in order like that. I think they just search and filter for what they want. And we know they don't bundle a lot. Like, I mean, maybe you're somebody that gets tons of bundles, and okay, fine. Maybe I'd get more bundles if I was sorted into categories, but I have 1,500 items. I'm not sorting things into categories. Like, that's crazy town. So if you do that, consider not doing it. Give it a try. See if your world explodes. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. So I think that's a time suck. Waiting for the scale to set. So I have a video coming. I have lots of videos coming. Oh my God. This was my original scale. I upgraded. Video coming soon. This is in my Amazon store. It's plugged in to this scale. This is amazing. The video is coming. I will share with you all the reasons. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up, whoever that was. Yeah, there's 6 people here. There were lots of people in and out. I saw it go up. I saw it go down. Please give me a thumbs up. That would be so awesome. I never ask for it. I always forget. So I have a scale video coming. The good scale is in my Amazon store if you want to give it a try. The old scale would turn off because it's battery powered. The new one is plugged in, and so it doesn't turn off. And waiting for it to set, like once you press it on and it takes a second or whatever, like all of that waiting for it to calibrate or whatever is a giant waste of time. If you're doing 50 pictures and you're waiting 3 seconds every time you're trying to do a picture waiting for your stupid scale to go, that's 150 seconds. So that's like 2 minutes where you could have totally taken a whole other picture, a whole other items pick. I don't know, like stuff like that just drives me crazy. Taping paper labels on packages. So not everyone needs the Dymo. It's on my list as well. I can show this person. You know, this is a label. But like, I'm going to do a when you should get a Dymo thing because a lot of people ask about that. I've had it for a while, but I didn't get it right away. I didn't get it, I think, until this year. I have to look back when I ordered it. I think in my head, my recommendation is if you're getting 10 sales a day, consistently every day, I think it's worth doing the thing. I think it's worth getting a Dymo because it's a lot of taping. It's a lot of tape. It's a lot of taping. It's a lot of time. You have to cut them out or whatever you're doing. Like taping paper labels onto your packages is a huge time suck. Your shipping is cut down tremendously by just printing a label and slapping it on. I promise you. It was a huge time saver for me. And especially if you're a mom and you ship in the morning and you don't do your shipping at night, you do it in the morning, you're trying to get kids off to school or whatever, like that's a great time to save time. You shouldn't be farting around with tape and scissors and whatever. Next is following people on Instagram that don't bring value or entertainment. Oh, that's right. I said it. So in the beginning of growing my Instagram, I went and followed anybody that I could. And now I realize why that was not good. Because there's so much stuff that people put on Instagram, even if they're mostly a reseller account, that I don't need to see. And so I've been going through when I can, because I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram. I do my posts. I go and I scroll a little bit from time to time, but I'm pretty good at not being one of those people that is an Instagram time suck of just scrolling through. So I don't have that. If you have that, that's a big time suck for you. But for me, it's the following people that aren't bringing me any entertainment or value, because in my feed, if I did have 30 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes that I did want to spend on Instagram, I don't want to scroll through a lot of nonsense. I want to scroll through valuable reselling content. This is my I had an Instagram for personal, but I'm never going to go on that. I barely do any social media personal. So for you, if you're on Instagram and it's your reseller account and you want to streamline the amount of time that you spend on Instagram, consider who you're following. And that means that you unfollow me. If you don't think I bring you any value or entertainment, then unfollow me. That's fine. Like I'm just really going through and trying to stick to accounts. Maybe they're YouTubers, maybe they're not. There's a lot of people that are big in the reselling community that are big on Instagram that don't even do YouTube. So, but they bring tremendous value on Instagram. They have great label porn. They have inspiring package piles. I mean, I'm here or there on package piles, but like people actually spend a lot of time like putting together Instagram posts, and sometimes it's about the pictures and sometimes it's about the caption. That's like a blog post basically, but consider who you're following on Instagram. If you feel like you spend a lot of wasted time on Instagram and you want to streamline it more, unfollow people that don't bring you value. Just pick somebody, go to their profile, see what their last few posts have been about. And if you don't find that valuable, unfollow them. You can always go find them again later. But for me, that's something that I've been actively trying to do, not because I care about how many. Like, I don't need to show anybody that I'm only following some people, but I have so many followers. Like, I care less. In my Poshmark, I am following 792,000 people. I have 324,000 followers. So I'm following over 250,000 people, and I don't care. And I wouldn't care about it on Instagram either. But on Instagram, my feed matters. On Poshmark, my feed matters less to me. Anyway, so back to that. Thoughts? Anybody? I don't know if you guys just have me on and you're there, you're not there, paying attention. Maybe you're doing your shipping, you're doing some photos. Give me a shout, say something, thumbs up. Thank you. I only have a few more and then I'm almost at my 30 minutes. So if you guys have questions, start putting them in now. If you don't, that's okay too. I just want to regularly be here at 11 to share some thoughts. And I want to bring enough content to talk the whole time if no one has any questions. But if you have questions, put them. I'm happy to do questions or a topic or whatever. This is my last one anyway. Steaming cheap items. So I love Sandy. I love my steamer. I'm happy that I got her. I got her basically for free at a garage sale, but I paid the guy $10 because I was so thrilled. I was so thrilled that he was giving away a steamer that I couldn't take it for free because I knew how valuable it was. So I was like throwing money at him and I gave him $10. She's amazing. I love her. It's wonderful to have. And on items that are just all messed up, like it is amazing what she can do. But then I got into like, oh, this needs to be steamed because it's wrinkled and this needs to be steamed because it's wrinkled. I'm like, you know what? For 3 years, I didn't steam anything. Now I'm steaming like all this stuff if it's wrinkled. And I'm like, I may not even get $20 for that item. Granted, I shouldn't have maybe bought it in the first place, but whatever, sometimes you need a variety. And so I'm like, I just need to stop steaming everything that's wrinkled. Some things can just go up wrinkled because I saw El Ducho, shout out to El Ducho. She's going to come on Reseller Conversations soon. And in one of her videos, she did, which is inspiring me to think up one similar for myself of what she did. She did things I'm not doing anymore. And that was all about how she wasn't steaming items anymore. I don't want to not steam all items. I'm not there yet, but I need to be more selective in my steaming process. That's for sure. So if you steam everything, consider maybe there are some items that you don't need to steam. What's your criteria? What's your cutoff for that? So something to consider. I hope you enjoyed this list of biggest time-sucking activities. I'm going to read the chat right now and see what we have. But for the people that watch it on the playback, at least they'll get that value out of it since we didn't maybe have that many questions. But in the future, bring a question. If you want to shoot it to me on Instagram, if you can't make it for live and you want to shoot me a question on Instagram, and then I can answer the question here and then you can watch it in a playback, like that's cool too. I'm flexible. Let's see. Shipping almost done. 60 packages today. Oh my God, Amy, that's crazy. That's awesome. Good for you. I did not have 60 packages today. Do you do shipping on Saturday? I do shipping on Saturday. So I think some people have a lot of packages because they don't do shipping on Saturday. But I bet you don't. I bet you just have 60 packages anyway because you're killing it on eBay. Got my steamer at a garage sale too. LOL. Yeah, it was so like when I saw it, I was like, somebody's punking me. Like, why is there a steamer just sitting there on the curb's edge? Like, I couldn't believe it. I throw a lot of wrinkled stuff in. That's a good idea. Wrinkled stuff in the dryer. I think I'm just afraid I'm going to ruin it because I'm not very domestically inclined as far as laundry to begin with my own stuff. This is what I wear all the time. No shipping on Saturday. See, so yeah. But that's good. That's good. That's still a lot of packages. I definitely didn't have that many sales this weekend. I still have this. I think I'll post it on Instagram because I actually don't have that many posts for Instagram today. This is a furry jacket. It's kind of like Cruella de Vil. And I've had it for a long time, but I found it at the bins and I'm a sucker for furry things. Like not real fur or anything, but like if it's a furry something, I have to pick it up. I don't know why. I don't even wear furry things. But it finally sold and it was for $25 on Poshmark. So I made 20. I probably paid 3. So I'm cool with that. But I had some good sales, so I got to finish up that. Well, let's see if we have any. I throw a pile of stuff to be photographed in the dryer with a wet sock or something, then take it directly out and hang it on the to be listed rack. Well, that's good. Wet sock. So the wet sock helps take the wrinkles out by bringing the moisture in the hot dryer, I'm assuming. Interesting. I'm going to give that a try. I don't know if I have the floor space to make another pile because at least the things that need to be steamed, I hang on the rack on the one side. And then things that are steamed that I'm not going to list, that I'm going to give to my photographer to list, I take from this rack and I bring to the storage unit and put it on a rack for her. And really, I should just do it. But the thing is, since I was steaming everything, I'm like, I'm going to end up doing everything. And I try to give her like the hard things, the things with more measurements. And then I do like the tops and the shorts, like things that are easy and can go more quickly for me. And then I give her the things that are more involved. I have a dryer in my reselling shed, so that helps. Reselling shed. You should do a video on your reselling shed. Do you have one? If you have, I haven't seen it, and I'm sorry I haven't gotten to. I watched some of your videos, but I don't think I watched all of it. But if you have a reselling shed, you should do a video of that. That's awesome. A she shed for reselling. Anyway, all right. Well, I guess I will cut it here. We didn't have that many questions today, but that's cool. I appreciate the comments and the discussion. And, I don't know if 11 o'clock is hard for everybody. Going to work on that. Good. Yes, definitely do a video. But if you can on your way out, please give me a thumbs up on this. That would be great. I do appreciate it. And like for all the YouTube algorithm, whatever stuff, like everybody asks for it. I need to be better about asking for it so that I will get those benefits in YouTube land. But thanks for joining me. Today was a YouTube day. I recorded a bunch of videos. We've got Momversations coming up on the Saturdays. And this week I have one that's coming. It has to be recorded. Lots of great content on Wednesday and on Friday as well. So just stay tuned. Thanks so much. Have a great day, a great week, lots of sales. Bye.